Doodle Empires, episode 8. Now, last episode kind of prepared us for kind of a finale-esque part of the this series, because there's been a lot of tension rising. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I recommend you checking out episode 7. It's a pretty good episode. And I am going to bare minimum be playing till episode 10, and then I'll be looking if I want to continue this series or go on to a different region and play there. Because my plan would be, and tell me in the comments if you like this plan, make 10 videos here, or how many people would prefer, then go into a different region, make again 10 videos, go to a different region, rinse and repeat until we have all regions done. Then we go to the world map and we place down all of our empires that we have in every single region and turn that into a grand campaign. If you guys like that idea, make sure to tell me in the comments, and then I'll do it, because I would love to do that. That sounds like a lot of fun. But anyway, without any further ado, if you want to know more about the lore, I have the series up. But anyway, let's begin. So starting off with our very first nation, it's going to be Tokyo, the Celis Mountaineers. They've been here since probably like episode 2 or 3. They're going to be drawing a card, and they're going to be placing the world into an age of unity. Next up, we're going to be getting Shanghai, the divisive flatlanders that split off of Hangzhou. We're going to select them, and we're going to draw a card, which will be a union card. Because they split off of Hangzhou, they are going to be reuniting with Hangzhou. Maybe they realize that being independent is kind of tough, especially when you don't really have anywhere to go. So they want to reunite, but on only one occasion, and that is making Shanghai the capital. Hangzhou is going to agree to that, and Hangzhou will turn into an important city instead of the capital. Also, I want to say thank you to the person in my comments who corrected me on what the Philippines is actually spelled. It is spelled Philippines, not the way that I spelled it. So thank you very much. There we go, I changed it, now it's correct. Thank you. Alright, next up we're going to be getting Leizhou, the Celis forest dwellers, split off of Hanoi. Now are independent. Let's see what happens. They're going to be uniting. Now this one is tough, because Hanoi would definitely not give up their crown for Leizhou. Maoming would also not do that, and Ye would also not do that. So what I'm going to be doing is letting them not unite with anyone. Anyway, we have Yangon, the tolerant forest dwellers. When we click on them, we draw a card, and they will be also uniting. Alright, Yangon trying to stick it to Shadowgram and Calais. They will be basically Nomcom has been in this war for independence for quite a while, and they are kind of encircled from Shadowgram, PI, not Calais, and Nausea. They basically are fighting a massive front against these three nations. So what Yangon is going to be doing, they're going to be uniting with Nomcom and giving them some special privileges so that they actually want to stay in this empire. This in return obviously ends the war for independence, and it also turns Nomcom into an important city, into a major city, not into a capital, and this is going to be pissing off the Triple Alliance against Yangon. Obviously, this is going to spark even more hatred between the Alliance and Yangon, which will probably spark a big war in the future. But anyway, here we are in Sumatra. Because we clicked on Medan, I guess they will be the ones, well, it depends. Yep, they will be the ones that fired the very first arrow or spear, depending on how far they are in tech. So, a couple of episodes ago, the struggle for Sumatra has appeared. For people who don't know, Songklaw basically took the central region. Medan doesn't like that. They claim the entire island for themselves. Jakarta also doesn't like it, because, well, they want to expand into more land to, well, live in. So Medan is going to be shooting the very first arrow or spear, and they will be attacking in the west, basically across the coastline, pushing them into the mountains where they can't push in any further, because it's very defended by Songkla, because, well, they also want this land. In the last episode, Medan opened up trade routes with the Yangon, they really, well, are a sleeper nation, which in turn basically just teaches Songkla that, hey, we have hands and you just didn't know that, and it seems like you weren't prepared for it. So what they're going to be doing is they're going to try and push across the front line all the way, trying to push them across the ocean and across the river. They successfully managed to do that, which then in return they have to basically fight across the mountains, which will cause a lot of casualties, but it is worth it since now they have the defensive grounds. And after that, they managed to push across the river successfully, basically pushing them out more and more, but with a lot of casualties, until there's only this small piece of land occupied by Songkla. Now, obviously, this means that there's a state of war between Songkla and Medan right now, but Jakarta will definitely also be joining in, probably fighting against Songkla at first, and then speaking is hard, guys. And then afterwards, they will probably turn on Medan, well, not turn on them, but they will definitely start attacking each other as well. Anyway, I pulled Olga, so I'm gonna click on them. They are isolationist mountaineers. They will be drawing a card of a new leader who is a zealous desert nomad. Next up, we have Yangon again. Interesting. Never mind. We will be getting a new nation instead. We will be placing the nation of Sorong on New Guinea, and we're basically just gonna give them as much land as they need. There we go. Now, because they're a new nation, I click on them. They're the isolationist mountaineers, and they will be getting a large expansion. Alright. So their tech is big enough to be able to grab these islands over here, but no, not further. And what they're going to be doing next is basically just pushing deeper into New Guinea, trying to find hilly areas because, they're mountaineers. As they follow these more hilly areas, they find actual mountains where they obviously will decide to push in a little bit more. I don't know why they're mountaineers. Maybe it's like cooler. Is New Guinea hot? Maybe, because they could be tribes that like more chilly areas instead. Anyway, next up we have Dongying, the Uniter Flatlanders. They will be getting a small expansion. Okay. Now, the Great Rivers Expedition is still ongoing. I mean, hey, they still have the rivers to finish, after all. But, well, they're basically going to be connecting a part of their rivers, basically trying to, centralize, rule a little bit more and be able to, improve infrastructure. They're really like the sleeper great power. I feel like they might actually be just the great power. Or did I say that last episode? I don't remember. But basically, these guys got hands. The only thing that's holding them back is that they're very, like decentralized. Anyway, with Medan again, so if we select them, we will be getting another expansion, this time a medium expansion. So, honestly, selling a small part of that island for Yangon to basically make trading outposts with Medan really paid off, because in return, they managed to use their new weapons, the modern, it's like 100 BC now, or maybe even like 280 or something like that. But basically, they use these modern weapons to successfully push out Songkla from Sumatra, and then they start migrating into these islands over here, and they can't go any further because Jakarta is mad. The Surprise to no one, they actually do migrate into these, and they start their very first expansion into Jakarta. Once again, they're trying to ride off of the success of the last tactic that was basically following the coastline down here across the mountains. Because they're not gonna attack you, like, over the mountains. I mean, they already have defensive stuff there, so why would they even... Anyway, then they're basically gonna redo the tactics like they did before. They're just gonna be pushing across the river and meeting up to the next river. Basically doing some small skirmishes and yeah, pushing them out one by one. Slow and steady wins the race. So yeah, Jakarta, aka the Chauvin Empire, they are peaceful, so I guess it made sense that they would have never been the first ones to shoot the arrow, even though they wanted more land over here. Well, they're still gonna fight back, and now they have a reason to, well, attack Medan and take more land than they previously had. We have the nation of Busan, the expansionist desert nomads, who are in their own situation right now. It's called the Colonial Wars. This happened in the last episode, so I'm not gonna re-explain it because I want you guys to check it out. Because I don't know. I like my videos. I don't know if you guys like it. Anyway, they're going to be adopting a religion. Okay. This is interesting because they have like a rivalry against Seoul, but they would never in a million years adopt Hanoianism or any other thing. Because they are, like, they do feel like they are Korean. And I feel like they are going to adopt Koreanism because a long time ago Pyongyang was unionized by Dongying. They don't want that happening to them. So they adopt the faith so that they are a little bit more safe against a union with Dongying. Anyway, next up with Sorong, the isolationist mountaineers, we're going to be drawing a card and they will be splitting. The nation that will be splitting off of Sorong will be the nation of I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. It's the nation of Utaram. I hope I pronounced that correctly. But anyway, what they are going to be doing is they're going to be splitting off of them here, but they're not going to... Well, actually, they are. They're basically going to isolate the southern parts of Sorong unless they get to... Okay, they get to have this. Going to be placing down the capital, and we are also going to be making the Utaram War for Independence. Utaram wants the eastern part of Sorong just to, you know, not have to fight a war on two fronts in the future, in case Sorong, if they get out of isolationism, want Utaram back. Because they're a new nation, we will be selecting them again, and we're going to be drawing a card, and that will be adopting a religion. Oh god, okay. Can I skip this? Because it just doesn't make any sense to adopt this religion since they don't actually know this exists. Alright, well, they're going to be adopting Sandakayanism. Let's say maybe they have, like, boats. I feel like they could. They really tried to travel over to Palu. Maybe there was, like, a boat that, like, got destroyed, and somehow, somewhere, a scroll washed up on Utaram's shores with some scrolls talking about the faith of Sandakayanism and how good it is. And, well, they start believing in it. Anyway, next up with Kunming, the expansionist trader, not traders, the expansionist desert nomads. We are going to be clicking on them, and we will not be getting any expansion. Instead, we are getting a new nation. I will be making the nation of Tutuwala, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think I am. And I will basically try and give them the entire island here. Yeah. Invent boats on their next turn. That's kind of my rule, because they are tribes that are now modernized enough to be on the world map. That's how I basically always say it is. Only now, when I reselect them, they can now, well, they're getting a union, but now they could technically go with boats around. But they're unionizing, but it doesn't make any sense. They wouldn't know that Jakarta, aka the Javan Empire, exists, or anything else exists, for that matter. So I'm going to make them unite with themselves, and we're going to the next nation. Speaking of the Javan Empire, I just got them. We're going to be drawing a found religion. Do they not have a... Oh, okay. Let's make Jakartaeanism. This war has strengthened people, making people pretty religious, and therefore making the religion of Jakartaeanism. Next up with Maoming, one of my favorites. They are the zealous Flatlanders. I love Maoming. One of my favorite videos was making the Prestige of Maoming. It's such a good video. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Maoming, like I said, I think I said zealous Flatlanders, they're going to be getting a large expansion. So they're basically going to be grabbing the rest of this unclaimed land here. So let me do that real quick. And now it's the time that we've all been waiting for. We knew it was going to happen sooner or later for the people who know what I'm talking about. I think it's in the Prestige of Maoming episode, actually, like, unironically, if you want to know exactly why they're about to attack Dongying, check it out. They have allies now. They don't have Nanping as an actual ally, but they do have Hanoi. So with Hanoi and Maoming forces reaching the border between Maoming and Dongying, they do their massive, well, they do, I can't speak, bro, I'm actually kind of excited right now. They launch their operation against Maoming. The goal is getting revenge after Maoming humiliated them a little bit by basically pushing them off across the river because of their river expedition. That basically made Maoming very bitter, and now they want revenge. And their goal is to basically grab everything from the border of Hangzhou, basically here, and everything west of it, from Dongying. Even though Dongying only took like this small chunk of land here, that's what Maoming wants now. Maoming feeling confident that they can beat Dongying now because of how decentralized they are, even though they would technically be the strongest power, they decide to, well, go for it. They make a push, basically, well, splitting apart their land. If you hold tab, gotta hold tab. Thank you for the person in the comment who said that. Basically splitting it apart and making it just a, I don't know, a slaughter. They just push forward, do unrelenting assaults on the like small forces that are here to desperately trying to defend. But obviously they can't. Maybe Maoming being brave, they actually go into unclaimed territory that they probably don't know what is here, and they try and follow across the mountain here and try to go over here and reorganize and go back into the front. But it doesn't matter, as Maoming... Did I say Maoming for Dongying? I meant Dongying, but now it doesn't matter because Maoming manages to still push them all the way out, utterly humiliating Dongying in the process. Now, Maoming basically getting everything they want. They're going to be telling Dongying, hey, let's sue for peace. I'm pretty sure you don't want this war to continue anymore. I mean, hey, you kind of have like Seoul on your borders that would love to take back Pyongyang from you. You also have Hangzhou, which like maybe they would want to get some land out of you. You even have Busan, they don't trust you. You even have the Japanese nations, and hell, you even have Ye, who would definitely not mind carving up your lands a little bit to be able to trade with the Japanese nations and the Korean nations. So, Dongying, knowing in what spot they are, they do peace out. And well, this is the new borders between them. Now, after this amazing like victory for Maoming, the people get happy, everyone is happy, and it ends the revenge want between Maoming and Dongying. But it will spark a great rivalry. Basically, if if one of them shows any sign of weakness, the other guy will pounce on them. With the remaining large expansion, Maoming is basically going to fortify their holding. What they're going to be doing is kind of grabbing the hilly areas, the mountainous areas, and even fortifying against Kunming a little bit over here as well. See guys, rising tensions in the east, or whatever I called my last video, it made sense. There's war breaking out everywhere. But like I said, this sparks the Maoming-Dongying rivalry between the two nations, which will probably last for a very long time. Hanoi, or their, well, contribute to the war, will get paid handsomely by Maoming, bolstering their friendship and, well, Hanoi's economy, because, well, they kinda need it, since the very first episode, they have been a struggling nation and only made a comeback in the last episode. And for the very first time ever, I will be making a landmark. That landmark will be located here. And that landmark, historians call it the battle for the rivers. This was the battle that basically decided the fate of who, well, if Maoming actually manages, you know, to get what they wanted. Basically, in this battle, they managed to get such a good victory, such a concise victory against them, which obviously made them be able to push all the way up here, which, like I said in my monologue, made all of these people, well, all of these military people over on the actual river, basically stand no chance. So that is why there's a landmark here, which is basically the battlefield where the battle for the rivers happened. So now we're going to be doing 3 more turns, and then I will be ending the video. It's going to be a lot shorter, but that is because I might make next week on the 10th of October, I will be streaming a game, Little Nightmares 3. And because of that, I want to make 2 videos for you guys before I stream. This video and then another video. One of them is going to be probably uploaded maybe on Saturday, Sunday, and the next one maybe like Wednesday. Right? So that's why this video is going to be shorter. Anyway, we have Pagaton, the Conqueror Hill Dwellers. It will be... Ooh. Well, I guess Sondekon is a uniter. So these two diverse, like, different ethnicities decide to unite together under one banner because they had pretty good relations, if I remember. Like, they met each other and they didn't really have any issues, if I remember. So they will be uniting under Pagaton, which turns Sondekon into a major city. Ooh, okay, the second last turn will be Dongying. They will be drawing a small expansion. So after the utter humiliation, what they do is, well, they say, we're gonna do a halt on the Rivers expedition. And we're going to be trying to centralize this empire. Because, you know, the main reason why they lost is because of how decentralized they were. I mean, like, they were just cut off completely. So the first region that they're going to be centralizing is obviously the region with the borders with Maoming. So, you know, just in case they attack again, they at least can kind of fight back now. And then, obviously, they are going to be just filling out, like, well, trying to centralize multiple regions all at once, which will definitely slow it down. But also... Ooh, wait, they have islands over here that I never claimed. My bad. They are also going to be centralizing the, like, closest area to the capital, because that's where they have the most control over. There we go. Now they are looking pretty thick, if you ask me. Now our final turn with Pi. Okay. Pi in the last episode, or second last episode, has turned from a great power into a major regional power, to say the least. If you want to know more, check out my series if this is your first episode. Anyway, they're going to be drawing a card of medium expansion. So what they're going to be doing is probably just doing some minor border adjustments with the people who broke off of them. A few episodes ago, they sold a decent chunk of their land to Samnuea. And them being in this situation where they kind of need to regain strength, they will be asking for some of their territory back. Basically, well, just buying off what their old land was from that they sold to Samnuea. And, well, yeah, just getting it back, basically. We have this weird border, but, well, they need it. And Pai is going to be doing a diplomatic move with Ye and Yangon. Ye getting word that Yangon is getting increasingly stronger again, because Ye has always been scared of Yangon until they beat them in a war. Now seeing that Yangon is getting stronger, Pai has the idea to, hey, the river's pretty defendable for both of you, but up here is a little area where there's no river, where the river ends, so why don't you guys just give this to me, so that you guys have no reason to even attack. Like, the attacker will suffer massive casualties if you fight across the river. So, give us this land here, and, well, you will never have to fight each other. Or at least, well, now you wouldn't want to fight each other. And afterwards, what they're going to be doing with their medium expansion is just following rivers, and then slowly fill out the Himalayas, even though it's a really hard thing for them to do because the Himalayas are massive mountains. But because they have nothing better to do that, and they want to find like if there's any riches or anything that can make us a world power again. Maybe it's up in these mountains, man. We have to look. That's basically what their thought process is. This results in some very disgusting borders, but that's because of how mountainous it is. But yeah, that was our final turn on Pi, and I'm gonna leave it here. Well, a lot of lore, a lot of war, basically, and no end in sight, honestly. As the tensions keep rising. Some wars end, but they make more tensions. Like, yeah. But anyway, if you guys liked it, I'm leaving it here. I'm not even talking anymore. I'm just gonna leave it here because Is that a train? Can you guys hear that? That thing in the background right now when I'm talking so that the audio doesn't cut off? I don't know if that was a train or not. But yeah, anyway, it's gonna be a little bit shorter episode. So is the next episode going to be? But it's just so that I have 2 episodes out for you guys while I stream. So if you guys liked it, you can like it. If you disliked it, you can obviously dislike it. I can't stop you after all. If you want to subscribe, you can, but you don't have to. We're very close to reaching 100 subs, but it kind of slowed down now. I remember before starting this series, I was like at 27 subs, and then I boosted up to 70 subs real quick. Now it kind of slowed down, so I have to keep asking. I should probably ask in the beginning of the video, like most YouTubers do, but I don't know, that doesn't make sense for me, because like you haven't even watched the video. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys have a good day or night. Bye everyone.